Hello everyone, in this video I'll be ranking who's the best cat in Baldur's Gate 3 on a tier list. So there's 14 unique different cats in this game. This includes even Displacer Beasts as they have unique dialogue. Now what's cool is if you use a potion of animal speaking, they all have unique dialogue, and also if you have the speak with animals perk. So I'm just a cat. Now Grub is pretty quiet, but I'll be getting into all of this here in this video. So yeah, with this, we got ourselves first the cat Barik. Now, Barik is available in Act 3, so you can find him there. He's in the lower city section, and there's 3 cats that you can speak with if Dareth Bonecloak is to pass away in Act 1. You can talk to Mishka, Barik, or Malta, and they'll go accompany his wife, which I think is a pretty cute little moment. One of these cats stands out for me, but Barsik's a pretty good cat. It's a cute cat, and whenever you speak with it, it talks about the Sharess Caress mainly. So some of the cats have, like, if you know the Dungeons and Dragons lore, Sharess has a cat companion. So a lot of the cats seem to be fans of the Sharess Caress for obvious reasons there. Not the same reasons that a lot of the players would be a fan of it, but yeah. So when you speak with the Barik, he talks about the Sharess Caress, and you'll heed the mother's call. So that's Sharess telling you to go visit the area there, and you can also tell it that Sharess is not the goddess for you, and he says that Sharess will mourn your loss. Barsik's a pretty good cat. Also, there's unique dialogue if you're a cleric with Barsik. So from one follower deity to another, I must respectfully decline. And then the Barsik will say, fellow priest, you may walk on 2 legs, but we still see eye to eye. Honestly, a pretty good cat. I'm going to put them up into the A tier. Yeah, I want to put them all in the S tier if I'm being honest, except for really just one of the cats. So I need to be a bit more balanced here. So yeah, another cool thing is Barsik is actually Russian for small leopard or panther, and that is like an affectionate term for it. So usually for older male cats. But next we got Grub, who we see here. I'm not going to hurt you, kitty. I don't like and look at the back arching there. Now, what's kind of interesting about Grub is very timid, doesn't like talking, and it gains your respect by just not talking to it. So, Nothing good. You can hear the voice acting. She was so very sick. I think the voice actor did a good job with Grub. And one of the things is Grub is one of the few cats that you can have at your camp. So, while they don't like talking that much, I still think they're a nice thing to have around. I'll just show you that they don't want to be petted. The back arch. So, yeah, that is Grub there. Yenna's my best friend. She's kind. Help her, not me. Help her, not me. I think Grub's pretty sweet. You know, I have to keep this fair. I did just rank Barsik, who I think is an awesome cat, into the A tier as well. So I'll put them in the A tier. No, I'll put them S tier because you do get them as a camp follower. So while you may not talk to them, it's just nice to have a cat at camp alongside your owlbear and Scratch. So yeah, that is, I guess, the nice thing about Grub is they are a camp companion. There is another cat companion that you can have at camp, but I'll be getting to that later with Terara. There's actually a cool way you can get Terara there. But next we have His Majesty. Now, His Majesty started off as a bald cat, and into Act 3, or into Patch 3, they changed it to have hair. And they meant to actually have hair on His Majesty this whole time. There's some pretty funny dialogue. So he's outside of the Last Light Inn. You can speak to him. Pretty standoffish of a cat. Doesn't trust Isabel either, so that's another thing. Because Isabel promised to bring him milk and has yet to give him any. Another cool thing about that is you can actually go into Isabel's room and find the milk. Though there's not really an interaction if you bring the milk to His Majesty. Doesn't really seem to care. But there's some funny dialogue options, especially if you're a barbarian. You can bark at him and scare him away, which will give you a nice +1 to Asterian's approval and a +2 to Lae'zel's approval. However, every other camp member will disapprove, including Minthara. So yeah, not the best choice, I guess. So yeah, His Majesty, bald cat, a pretty decent cat. So yeah, you can steal the milk bowl, give it to him. I would say that His Majesty's probably, I'll put him in the B tier to keep things balanced here. I think it's funny that people put up a fuss about it getting hair and then they remove the hair again. And it does look similar to the Steel Claw cat that we also meet in Act 2. So I'll be getting to them there. But with His Majesty, he's got like that uptight attitude that some people may not like. But next we got a cat potentially named after JoJo's Bizarre Adventure with Kira the cat. So Kira is found in the Sharess Caress, like a lot of the cats, and if you speak to them, you can insult the cat and it won't talk to you, but if you compliment it, it'll allow you to keep talking to it. There's not too much going on with this cat. It's just there chilling, and it's a pretty cute cat, I think. And plus the fact that you can compliment it, I think that's funny because cats love that kind of stuff. So I'll put it up into the A tier as well. But my favorite cat is coming next with Malta. Now, Malta has some funny dialogue options, and the voice acting for it is top notch. So with Malta, and this is one of the other cats that can go and be a assistant to Dareth Bonecloak if Balin ends up passing away in Act 1. So you can talk to them with the animal speaking potion, and the way they start the conversation is, "It was just another day in the City of Lies, Baldur's Gate, where the people begged for justice until they starved. Two heroes were fated to cross paths that day. Their eyes met, destiny calling." So actually hilarious dialogue options. So you can respond with, "And they both answered." And then Malta will say, "Strangers, only in a fool's definition of the word. It was just the start of something incredible. Two heroes on the hunt for justice, no matter the cost. All the tall one had to do was say yes." And you can continue it and you say, "Excuse me." And then Malta will say, "Destiny is a fickle mistress. She showers you in riches one day and kicks you in the gutter the next day. But today, she smiles. This could be the beginning of something. Two heroes against the world, enacting justice for those unable to seek their own. And all the tall one had to do was say yes." And you can ask if it's all right. There's a lot of dialogue options for Malta, so I'll let you go explore that yourself in Act 3. Definitely you have to talk to Malta. I think this is my favorite cat. And it's a reference to like old detective noir movies, the Maltese Falcon, potentially. Just because of the way he talks. It literally sounds like a detective. I tried to do my best to reenact it. But yeah, Malta, definite S tier. Go talk to them in Act 3. They're located in the lower city, so near the Central Wall Waypoint. They're pretty easy to find. I highly recommend it. Next, we got the Grimshka. Now, the Grimishka sold Christmas if you were following the Baldur's Gate or Larian Studios Instagram account, or I guess any of their social media accounts. They posted about the Grimishka that sold Christmas around Christmas time of last year. Now, I don't like the Grimishka. It's found at the Rosymorn Monastery, and it's an evil thing. It fights you. So, it has a bite attack that deals 3d6 force damage, and it's a monstrosity type enemy. It's not technically a cat, but I still wanted to include it on this because I was having a hard time thinking how I was going to put something like in the lowest tier, but Grimishka came to the rescue. This cat's an annoying thing to deal with. It does drop a Grimishka's tail, which you can make a Wizard Bane potion with, which will give a -3 to spell attack rolls and spell save DC, so there's some merit in fighting it, but you can also just buy them from vendors. And next we have another cat that can follow us around at camp, unfortunately. I guess we could go find her in Act 3 right now, but I won't for the purpose of the time. So this is Terara. Now, you can actually get Terara at your camp if you play as Gale Origin. So after you short rest one time, Terara shows up at your camp, and Terara's awesome because if you play as Gale Origin, she'll give you a ring that allows you, if you fail a dexterity saving throw, you can use your reaction to succeed the dexterity saving throw. You can see how that may be good. So that helps you with avoiding fireballs. Also, you can find Terara in Act 3 on the roof of the Open Hand Temple in Rivington. So she's involved in the quest, find the missing letters, and you can get the Ring of Blink here, whether you have Gale in the party or not. But if you have Gale, you get a unique dialogue, so highly recommend bringing Gale along. Now, you can also barter with Terara because she's a cat. And you know what cats like? Fish. So if you have fish in your inventory, you can trade them for the Hat of the Sharp Caster. You can also pickpot if you want. So the Hat of the Sharp Caster gives you, when you roll a 1 or a 2 on damage die for a spell attack, it's re-rolled once. Pretty good. It also gives you the slinging shoes, which is a joke item, but it's pretty funny. So with the slinging shoes, you can throw them, and they deal just 1 damage, but they deal an additional 2d4 psychic damage, and then they return to you when thrown. So they go, actually, when you throw them, they return to your body, and you equip them. So could be kind of annoying. Also, she has the Tressum Collar, which allows you to get a level 5 telekinesis spell. I'm going to put Terra up in the S tier. I do think I prefer Malta, just being honest. The dialogue is hilarious. Again, go check that out, but yeah, Terra's still a really good cat, so I gotta put her up high. And next we have Mishka. Now, Mishka is actually a Slavic word for little mouse, so pretty funny. And with Mishka, you can find her east of the Bone Cloaks Apothecary, alongside Barik and Malta. Those are 2 cats that you can get to accompany Dareth Bonecloak. I'm going to put her up in the A tier. I think it's a good cat, obviously, but not too much dialogue options. But you can say pss, 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 pss to them, which I think is pretty funny. And they can hiss at you. Actually, the dialogue's pretty funny, the way she talks. Are you murmur? Huh? Never mind. Like, the way... You know what? I'm actually going to put them in the S tier. They're pretty funny. I was thinking where I should put them because they're an interesting cat that you talk to. But, yeah, they're pretty funny. They just speak pretty much nonsense. But next we got Steel Claw. Now, Steel Claw is a good cat. It's a naked-looking cat, similar to Your Majesty, but this is where it got messed up. They had each other's models. Your Majesty had that model of the bald cat when it was meant to have hair. And it actually had a unique look to it as well. But, yeah, whenever you talk to Steel Claw, be careful, because if you're the Dark Urge, the cat will remember you. Because the Dark Urge was at Moonrise Towers, if you know the plot. And don't try to remember the cat if you're the Dark Urge, because you go into a frenzy and end up just attacking the cat. Don't do it. Do not do it. So Steel Claw is actually really nice because they declare themselves as a predator of the Mind Flayer parasite tadpoles. So they're trying to get rid of them at a Moonrise. So, got to respect a cat for that. And for that, I would put Steel Claw probably up. I'll put them in the A tier. I want to put them S tier. Probably somewhere around A tier to S tier. That's hard. This is a hard one. This is a funny tier list. It's not meant to be like a serious one by any means. It's meant to more just be fun. So I hope I don't offend anyone with these, because some people do get kind of offended by these tier lists, but they're for fun. But next we got Tambourine. Now, Tambourine you can find in the lower city of Baldur's Gate. Typically, most of the cats are in like Act 3 in the city. I mean, makes sense. That's where most characters are. This is found in the Elf Song Tavern Kitchen, so it's literally where I'm at right now. If I were to leave, I'll be teleported to somewhere else, so I won't do that. But you can talk to Tambourine. They go meow. They like scream it. And if you speak with animals, they say, "Hello, servant ape. Would you kill those rats, please? Their presence vexes me." Pretty funny. Tambourine's more of a joke cat. Not much dialogue options compared to someone like Malta, but I'll put them in the A tier. They're a good cat. They call you servant ape. That's pretty funny. And next we got Zambamba. So Zambamba the cat, also found in Act 3 in the Elf Song Tavern Kitchen. So you got Tambourine and Zambamba. Whenever you speak with them, without animal potions, they go meow, 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 meow. If you talk with the animal speaking potion, they go, meow, look, Tambourine, a servant comes to help us. Kill those rats, would you? So they basically just say similar dialogue. I'm still going to put them in the A tier because it's pretty funny. Plus, if you speak with them without it, it's like meow, 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 meow. Pretty funny. But next we got ourselves the Displacer Beast. And there's 2 Displacer Beasts. There's Nessa that we find in the Gauntlet of Shar. And then there's the Displacer Beast that we find in the Circus of Last Days, which is called Shadow Whiskers. So first starting with Nessa here. Now, Nessa is an interesting character because you can fight them, or you can have them on your side against your fight against Yrgir. So, Nessa's trying to lure you into an ambush, so you got to be mindful of that. But if you go and investigate the spider carcass, don't lick it if you have Gale in the party. Actually, do lick it if you have Gale in your party, because he'll be like, "Stop licking the damn spider!" This is pretty funny. But if you investigate the spider carcass with a 14 DC investigation check, in the room adjacent to Yrgir, it reveals that Nessa has been charmed into being his pet with the succubus spittle. So, using that information, you can make her turn hostile against Yrgir, making the fight easier. You can also just talk Yrgir into ending his contract. There's a couple ways you can go about doing that. But having a friend against that fight is nice because your gear's weapons are pretty good, and that fight is a very tough one. Yeah, Nessa, the Displacer Beast, I would say is a pretty good cat. We'll put them in the B tier, and then next we got ourselves Shadow Whiskers, which you can find in the Circus of the Last Days. So with this, there's a few ways you can avoid fighting them because otherwise you'll have to fight them. It's actually kind of sad talking to them because they talk about how they were in the wild, hunters murdered their mate and some of their cubs, and then it gave her trauma, which she's yet to recover from. Really sad, actually. And Drabbles says that he's going to give her a brand new life, and obviously he's not. So whenever you talk with them, you want to break them out of the cage before you talk to Dribbles the Clown, because if you start talking to Dribbles, then they break the lock and the cat comes out, or Displacer Beast comes out and fights you. That's not good. So you can break the cage open ahead of time and they'll run away. That's the option that I've always done. And also if you play as a rogue, you get the unique option of just picking the lock right then and there. I'll say Shadow Whiskers also probably B tier, maybe A tier. I feel bad for that cat, so yeah. And finally, we got ourselves, this is a cat that I guess there's two versions of it. So Conjured Cat. You can literally, let me pop one of these down on the ground here so you can conjure yourself a cat. So there it is. And I really like the Conjured Cat. You can't talk to it, unfortunately, but you can play as it. And this is also the same form that you'll take on if you were, let's say you're a druid and you use the cat form. This is what form you take. So the cat can meow. And everyone comes running. So this is actually really good if you want to, it's kind of like a minor illusion. You can use the cat to sneak its way around. It does have the claw attack, but not very strong. It just does 2 damage, whereas, yeah, you're not using this for anything really other than meow, or getting into, small nooks and crannies that you normally wouldn't be able to get into. I like the running animations of the cat, so sometimes if I know that I have another wild shape form to burn off, I'll just use it on the cat, just to be a cat for a time. It's pretty funny, so, yeah, the cat, talk to Grub, can't really talk to Grub, but, yep, cat shape is the goodest. We'll put them up into the S tier as well, so there we have it. There's all the cats in Baldur's Gate 3. This is probably the silliest tier list that I've done yet. But I told you guys I was going to be doing a cat tier list. So if you have any other requests for tier lists that you guys would like to see, let me know in the comments below. Also hit that subscribe button below if you haven't already. Thank you so much for the support, and I'll see you all in the next video.